Welcome back to part 2 of our journey through Tasmania from Hobart to Launceston, where we met passionate producers of sea salt, oysters, salmon, black truffle and whisky, drank cool climate wines and indulged in one unforgettable meal after another. So come take a seat with us at the Tasmanian table.
We're in Hobart, it's a Sunday, and this is the Farmgate Market. This is where all the local farmers and all the local bakers come to sell their goods. We picked up some nice cheeses. They look very artisan. The guy selling us the cheese tells us that he just milked the cows yesterday, made the cheese, and now today he's here. And I also picked up some lovely croissant made by this guy and his wife in their own little commercial kitchen. You can get all sorts of fruits, vegetables, all grown by the farmers. Also, you're buying direct. You get a feel of the local produce here in Tasmania.
Then it was on to LARK Distillery, the pioneer of modern Australian whisky. It all began after Bill Lark famously wondered on a fishing trip why Tasmania, with its great water, barley and climate, was not making single malt whisky. And back then, old distillation laws made small-scale whisky production almost impossible. But Bill and Lynn Lark helped make that change, and in 1992, LARK Distillery started. You can still feel that pioneering spirit today. LARK has a real New World whisky mindset, not bound by old conventions, and we were even shown how they season their casks with fortified wines to build more depth and character. And the result is a whisky that feels bold, flavorful, and incredibly smooth. We are here at Tolpuddle Vineyards and we just had a beautiful wine tasting lunch, and you cannot just rock up for the wine tasting because they've got very limited space. You need to do reservations before you can come here and do some wine tasting. And this particular one, this 2024, which I just bought, this was number 1 on the top 100 of the James Suckling Top Australian Wine of the Year. Can you beat that? And some people say that this place is a wine lover pilgrimage. If you're out here in Tasmania, you got to come here, and the food pairing was also very good. You might even get the caviar on crumpets.
So we left Hobart, making our way to the east coast, and we stopped by this little town of Richmond in order to look at this oldest bridge in the whole of Australia, built in 1823.
We also stopped by Zig's Cafe for cakes, scones and afternoon tea. What a lovely little pause before continuing our journey.
Okay, so they brought us here to this Moto Inn for dinner tonight. You know, Moto Inn, how good can the food be? But we were told this Waterloo Moto Inn has got a restaurant run by this chef who does a great job with the food. So let's go check it out. It turned out to be quite an interesting experience. I would say the food is good, especially for a motel. But of course, it's not 5-star dining lah.
I think that's the whole thing. You expect like motel food because you're hungry and there's nowhere else to eat, but then you'll be so pleasantly surprised.
Yes, every weekend he actually travels up from Hobart to the Waterloo Inn in Swansea, and then he buys all the produce along the way. He buys the fish from one place, the produce along the way, carries it all the way here on Thursday, preps it on Friday so that you can enjoy it on Saturday and Sunday. So he does it for a few months a year. Don't come in the middle of the week because you can't find them.
And don't come off season as well.
The season runs from December to about May. For those of you who are looking for accommodation, you can actually stay at the Moto Inn. You can get a waterfront view.
Or you can stay here in Piermont in a cottage like this. Okay, this is our accommodation here at Piermont.
Hi, such a nice little cottage.
Wow. Look at this, a whole living room to yourself. And then come in here. Okay, this is the room. Very nice. Okay, and the bath goes into the toilet. So dark already, but you know, I think we are actually right on the beach.
Yeah, I think tomorrow morning will be better.
We woke up this morning to the sunrise, just looking out of the window of our bedroom. This is Piermont Retreat, Swansea, and it's just beautiful.
Very quiet, very secluded. Perfect place to just relax. Unfortunately, we are in a rush because we are heading towards our next destination, which is to check out some Tasman Sea Salt, which we have here, but we're going to go and find out how they make it.
So our salt is about 20% lower in sodium, which is great. We're about 80% higher in potassium. So potassium has links to calmness, muscle rejuvenation, well-being, these sorts of things. So to have that mineral profile is just amazing for us.
Guess it all makes sense when the salt is made from that pristine Tasmanian seawater. Clear seawater is pumped out and concentrated using a cooling tower where the dry Tasmanian air helps evaporate the water naturally without heat. And once it reaches the right concentration, the water is filtered and the salt is left to crystallize slowly. And what you get at the end is this beautiful, pristine, snowflake-like white crystals. And you can taste the difference. Instead of that sharp, piercing saltiness, it has a softer, more rounded flavour that lingers very nicely on the palate. And from those pristine waters, we continued on to Freycinet Marine Farm, where we met co-founder Julia Fisher. She showed us where the Pacific oysters are grown and how they are sorted and placed in the intertidal system, where they take about 2 years to grow to full size. And over at the seafood restaurant and kitchen, we got to enjoy a lovely seafood spread of Sri Lankan curry mussels, scallops, salmon, and of course, oysters. These may not be the fattest of oysters, but they were wonderfully clean, bright, and briny. We're here at Devil's Corner Vineyard, and it is the largest vineyard in Tasmania. They've got 1,500 hectares of vineyard, and they make pretty much all the different varieties, everything from your Chardonnays to Pinot Noir to the Pinot Gris and your Syrahs and everything in between. And the wines are very good. The Resolution Riesling was an award-winning one. And the good thing about this place is that they've got quite a few food options here near the cellar door. And when you come here, you can opt for the 5-petal, which basically means 5 wines, or 3-petal tasting. And they've got different experiences as well. A worthy stopover when you're here in Tasmania. And by evening, we rode into Launceston, a UNESCO City of Gastronomy. That night, we checked into Stillwater 7. It's called 7 because there are 7 rooms, set within the old Ritchie's mill at the edge of Cataract Gorge. We like how the rooms still preserve parts of the original building while bringing in all the modern comforts you'd want for a relaxing stay. Dinner downstairs at Stillwater Restaurant was equally memorable. We definitely got a little carried away with our orders because everything looks so good. Now, the wallaby wings is a must try. Yes, those are wallaby forearms. And the cressy lamb was another standout. But the best part is that in the morning, they'll hang freshly baked croissants at your door. Croissant. The accommodation is clearly run by people who know food and love food.
We're here at the start of the tasting trail on the Cradle to Coast. As you know, Launceston is UNESCO City of Gastronomy. It is the City of Gastronomy because it's supported by all the producers, right? So today we are going to visit some of them. But our first stop is cheeses, and we're here at Ashgrove.
Ashgrove is one of Tasmania's best-known dairy producers, and it turned out to be quite an educational stop. We learned how their cheeses are made using milk from their own grass-fed cattle and got to taste a really good range of cheddars from mild and creamy styles to sharper, more aged varieties. And we were thrilled to meet another Singaporean working here.
Hi guys, we're at Ashgrove Dairy, and this is Patricia. She's Singaporean. She works here as a chef. Just made us this toasty. Can you tell us about the toasty?
It's a 3-cheese toasty. And it's made of Havarti, Lancashire and cheddar cheese.
How long have you been working here?
2.5 years. But I live in Tasmania already 16 years.
Amazing. Find a Singaporean here in Tasmania.
This toasty looks delicious. Woo!
So we continue on our tasting trail. Our next stop is Melita Honey Farm. So get to taste some of the honeys. The one that is very unique to Tasmania is the leatherwood honey. It's got a very distinctive flavour to it. Okay, we're at the Truffle Farm, home of Australia's first black truffle. So black truffles were first farmed in Australia right here in 1999. Let's go and hunt for some truffles.
We were privileged to meet Anna Terry, daughter of the founder, who shared how her father persisted with growing black truffles in Australia despite plenty of skepticism back in the day.
Is if you tell him he can't do something, he would like to try a little bit harder and prove you wrong. And thank goodness he's like that, because here we are.
Well, what an achievement. When it came down to hunting, well, it was more of a harvest than a hunt. Because the trained dogs did all the hard work. Now, they were taught from when they were just pups to recognize the smell of truffles and were rewarded with treats. and that way they don't eat up the truffles like pigs do.
Run your fingers around the outside there, and eventually that truffle will just start to come loose.
Okay, here we go. There?
Yep.
Wow!
Well done.
My first truffle!
Smell it?
Wow! Okay, it smells like dirt because it's still got a lot of dirt around it, yeah? But
Nice.
this is why we're in Tasmania, okay? Digging up truffles.
And while we warmed ourselves by the fire, fresh pizzas were being baked, finished with generous shavings of black truffle. Only here on the Truffle Farm.
Okay, we're at the next stop of our tasting trail. We're gonna visit 41 degrees south Salmon Farm.
And that's where we met another enterprising character by way of Ziggy, a German who bought this piece of land and built up a whole ecosystem around inland salmon farming. He built these cement fish tanks that use gravity for water flow and excavated wetlands that act as a natural biofilter, cleaning the water before it returns to the river. But don't come expecting salmon sashimi. What they're known for here are their smoked salmon. And their salmon roulette has even won awards. Before dinner, we also stopped by Small Wonder Wines in the Tamar Valley. They're known for their organic wines, and it was exciting to hear they're in the process of expanding the cellar door and will soon be operating a proper restaurant that will make this an even more compelling stop in Tamar Valley. Dinner on our last night in Tasmania was at Stelo's at Pierre's, run by husband and wife team Nathan and Lauren Johnston. It was easily one of the top 3 meals we had on a trip. The cuisine here is contemporary Italian with a strong focus on highlighting beautiful Tasmanian produce. We went for the Feed Me menu and honestly, every dish was a hit. We especially loved the grilled baby corn, the burrata salad with fresh Tasmanian figs that were perfectly honey sweet, and the Tasmanian beef was beautifully charred and tender. And I'm glad I went for the wine pairing, as here's where I was introduced to the Malbec. It was love at first sip. Definitely bookmark Stelo's when you come to Launceston. That night, we checked into Pepper's Silo Hotel, set inside old grain silos overlooking the Tamar River and King's Wharf. It is within walking distance of the CBD, and judging by the curved walls, our room was probably one of 52 rooms housed inside the former silos.
Just 5 to 10 minutes from where we were at the hotel is Cataract Gorge Reserve. They tell me that the gorge is quite gorgeous.
This dramatic gorge is said to be around 65 million years old. And there's actually quite a lot you can do here. You can take the chairlift ride across the gorge for a bird's eye view, or head off on one of the walking trails to spot native plants and wildlife, or cross the suspension bridge that may have a bit of wobble in it if somebody jumps, or if it's windy. And in summer, you can even go for a swim in the first basin pool. But in winter, when the gorge is in full flow, the pool may be completely submerged. And then came our final vineyard stop at Joseph Cromie Wines. It was yet another pioneering story, and this time of Joseph Cromie, a Czechoslovakian who fled his country penniless during the war, built a successful meat business, and then founded this winery in his 70s. And before settling in for a final long lunch of Pacific oysters, ocean trout, grilled pork collar paired with their Chardonnay and Riesling, we took a tour of the beautiful estate while sipping on some of his award-winning wines.
Hi guys! So these are the people that we've been traveling with. This is Izzy from Tourism Tasmania.
Hi.
And this is Kenneth from the Pig Magazine.
Hey.
And of course, you know who this guy is.
What a way to end our Taste of Tasmania trip. Tasmania is beautiful, and thanks to Izzy, we managed to see all the highlights.
Yeah.
Wish we had another week or 2 here,
Yeah.
because there's so many
Yes.
things to see.
Yeah.
So make sure you book your tickets, come over to Tassie.
Yeah. Bye!
Happy eating and safe travels.